You know I love that organic cooking. I always ask for more. And they call me Mr. Natural. On down to the health food store.
Welcome back, Doug Pagitt Radio. We're joined in this part of our conversation with natural health coach Shelley Pagitt. You can find her over at shelleypagitt.com. A conversation that goes from the silly to the atheist to natural health. We do it all around here on this little morning get-together that we call Doug Pagitt Radio, religious radio that's not quite right, on AM 950, the voice of Minnesota, and DougPagittRadio.com.
And you know what I like?
I think that name's a little long.
You know what I like about the whole thing, though? The whole thing meaning like Doug Pagitt Radio and like our lives, I guess.
hope you say the host.
Our lives. And
some people don't know this, that Shelley's my wife. Like by social agreement, we've become one. And some people are like, boy, you know, you're a little short with that woman. They refer to you as that woman that they have on there. And so it's my wife. And then they go like, oh, okay then.
No.
So anyway.
So what I like about it is, in your show in general, but our lives, is that it's holistic in nature. Excuse me. And that, you know, you just said it's not the scientific method or, you know, taking things apart and...
I like that too.
And the dichotomy of it all.
Yeah.
You know, it's bringing it all together and how do we look at the whole picture, and there's room for disagreement, there's room for conversation, and
there's room for people to learn from me. All right, so what do you have so what do you have on the docket here with natural health coach Shelley Pagitt? We're going to reach into our natural health tip jar in 2011. And I think people should start a tip jar themselves. I think they should get a little mason jar in their kitchen, and they should jot down what your tips are each week, and they should put them in the jar. And there should be a tip jar.
Well, today is going to be really easy.
Here we go.
Because it is the new year.
Why are we not selling that tip jar?
And typically, people in the new year make resolutions.
Yes, as the three of us have done.
Okay. And so what I was thinking about today is resolving to not make a new resolution, but go back to some things in your health life that you've left behind.
Nice.
Like, it's easy to, okay, so like, I've given a lot of tips over the past year, and I have no idea who, you know, takes them on and who doesn't unless I hear from somebody, and then that's great.
Well, the three of us do, don't we, new guy sidekick?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes.
We've done every one of them.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you have.
We've done every one of them. We got him confused one time and started drinking apple cider on one foot in the bathroom, which was a mixture of a couple of tips.
While you were doing squats?
Yeah, while we were doing squats.
Brushing your teeth?
Yeah. You know, people can see online that you physically assault me here in the studio. So anybody who's watching, you can see that she reaches across the table.
Look at your shoulders.
There's a photographic record of that.
Seriously.
Okay, the reason I look particularly slouchy right now is because the sidekick has set up the camera in such a way that I have to lean forward to get in the view. If I could, I would be all up like this, but then it pops me out of the camera side.
No, that's fine. You're good.
I'm trying to get a little camera
I think you could sit up straight. All
right, let's get on with
it. So anyway...
You don't need to be worrying about my posture.
Well, I do. I live with you. So anyway, here we go.
This is why I'm so tired, Glenn. This is why. This is why I look tired and angry.
So what I was thinking is, rather than make a new tip or have people have one more thing to do, I was thinking that people could look back on their year and think about what's something that they heard before that they thought that they wanted to incorporate into their lives, that they did incorporate, but now, I mean, it's easy to let things slide away. You know, we start a new habit or a new healthy rhythm, and then before you know it, it's like, I thought I made that a habit, but apparently I didn't, because now I'm not doing it anymore. So I think it'd be good for people to look back and think about what is it that they... What have they left behind that they think is beneficial for themselves? So
maybe there was a good resolution is to kind of dig back through the box of good intentions of the last year and come up with something. Well, what's yours? Do you have one of those? Kind of caught you on the spot there, huh?
Yeah, you did. Well,
I'll tell you what mine is.
Yeah, why don't you go first?
I'll tell you what mine is. I mean, I can run the whole segment. Mine is, and maybe you've noticed this. I have stopped eating a bowl of cereal at night.
I did think about that.
That I've stopped.
Yeah.
So you spent more time thinking about what I should be doing.
No, I didn't.
Than what you should be doing.
Hey,
this is what I'm telling you.
There was no should in there. You said, "Have you noticed that?" And I replied, "I have.
I have noticed that. Yes.
I've had no should in there, and I had no part in that.
What was the cereal of choice? Just curiosity.
Raisin Bran.
Really? Oh, come on!
I love Raisin Bran.
That's like some wicked indulgence that you've got to cut out of your life.
I am so pure
in Raisin Bran.
The indulgence that I have is I need to eat less Raisin Bran.
No, it was eating
I've-
late at
I've-
night.
You're too regular.
I've gone through everything else. That's all I could come up with.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Stop being so thoughtful and,
Yes.
and slow down on the Raisin Bran. No, it was the time of eating. That eating a bowl of cereal, it's a 20-pound a year habit, people say.
Yes.
Would you put sugar on your Raisin Bran?
Nope.
Dude, that is...
No. So you
It's
think
eating late at night.
You people live in a completely different world than everyone else.
That's
Come
not
on.
true.
I bet the sidekick out there eats healthy cereal.
You mean the new guy?
Yeah, the new guy. Yeah, sorry, the
No,
two of you
come
blend
on, are you
together.
kidding?
New guy. What do you do for cereal?
I usually don't. I usually do toast. And actually, I was brave enough today. I was actually eating while the Natural Health Coast was on the air. I was afraid I might get hollered at. But it was 12 grain bread with very thin, lean ham. So is that
Okay. Yeah, nice. Now, is that why you stepped away from the microphone and were hiding behind the file cabinet over there? I saw you over there. I'm like, what's Glenn doing over there? And you were eating. Because last time we were doing this, we're in here talking about, I don't know, something to do with apple cider vinegar or bowel movements or something. Glenn was out there eating a pizza. Remember that? Eating a piece of pizza. I'm like, what do you got out there?
Well, I think that,
That
what we talk about a lot, what I talk about a lot is the spectrum of eating and why it's hard for me to say, what are you going to do? So a couple weeks ago, I had decided that I had forgotten, and John, you're going to think this is crazy, but to me it's not, so I'm just going to say it. I had forgotten to buy seaweed at the... I know, see? I had forgotten to buy seaweed
Oh, wait a minute.
long time at the store, and so
yes.
I bought it a couple weeks ago. And when I soak beans or when I make soup, I typically put seaweed in it, but I had forgotten about it for a long time. And I was making soup for a friend this week who had surgery, and she cares about a lot of this stuff, as do I. And so I got it, and I put
And
it in.
how is Sigmund feeling?
Great.
The sea
All
monster.
because of
Sigmund
the
the sea
seaweed.
monster. Nobody?
All because of the seaweed.
Crickets?
So
All right, so she's feeling better because of the seaweed. Yeah.
There's just different. There's just different things, and that's why one thing for one person isn't the thing that everybody should do.
Yeah, right. And what I decided to do, to get back to this tip of going into it, is to say, last year I knew I wanted to do this in January, and I started maybe, I don't know, in September, October, was not what I'm eating distinction, which I didn't bring up until you asked me. It was the timing. So there's another consideration about food, which is not just what do you eat, but when do you eat it. If I don't eat breakfast, which whatever, and you don't eat after 7 o'clock at night, you've just added 12 to 15 hours in your day where you're not consuming any food. It's just a lot harder to eat all those calories if you're down to 10 to 12 hours of food consumption time.
And also,
So that one decision,
Right.
to not eat after a certain time at night. I mean, on occasion I will. Let's say,
well, and
Saturday night I want to have a pizza.
And it's so good, like, just to be self-aware. And what are the habits that you're forming that are beneficial for you? And what are the habits you're forming that are negative for you and your body? And I think taking note of those things and then actually implementing a decision behind them is really what people need to do.
So it sounds like what you're saying is that the tip is to be thoughtful in 2011.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can do this 2011 thing. Be thoughtful in 2011 about your life and about your eating, and to consider what decisions you've made in the past to make those this time.
Right.
A great tip for 2011.
And you get all those extra hours of digestion.
Okay, now we need to bring up a little thing on the internet that was a falsehood that John brought up in the preparatory meeting this morning for the radio program.
Okay.
And that is that his hand that was healed by raw honey after he burned it at a Christmas party, he had a napkin in his hand that caught a flame on the candle in the middle of the table and burned his finger.
Yeah.
Total user error. That was made better by raw honey.
Yes.
But it was claimed on the internet under your signature that it got rid of the blister. And John was going on today about how the blister's not gone.
Okay.
He's showing the blister to people.
It's actually gone now. It popped. It popped.
So the pain went away.
The pain
but the
went away.
blister stayed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Apparently that was a big deal. So we wanted to get the
pain was the big deal.
We wanted to start this year by clearing the air that truth has been told about that blister.
Raw honey.
But raw
healed my burn.
honey healed it.
I mean, it's had a huge nasty.
If you
And
put
you
a
were
little-
in pain for a couple of hours
Oh,
before
it
you
was-
put that raw honey on there. You weren't even chatting at all.
No.
No, it's devastating.
That's really good.
Okay, we're going to be back here with the Right On. The Right On goes out to a 102-year-old man. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you'd like this one. Could you like those
Centenarians?
Centenarians. He's a 102-year-old man. He's going to get the Right On here on Doug Pagitt Radio after the break on AM 950.